Hola, hola. In this video, we are going to compare and contrast the Pretérito Perfecto simple and the Pretérito Imperfecto. And we will try to develop either a notion or some sort of intuition about when each one is used or how they are differentiated when they are used. To start with, before getting into details, it's nice to mention that, like, compared to the English language, both Pretérito Perfecto Simple and Pretérito Imperfecto would technically corresponds to the simple past, and there are certain sentences that in simple past that which could be translated both in the Perfecto Simple or in the Perfecto, the exact same phrase. For instance, if I say I was on the beach, then I could say either yo estuve en la playa or yo estaba en la playa. The first one corresponding to the Pretérito Perfecto Simple, this one corresponding to the Pretérito Imperfecto. But even though they are both translated to the same sentence, they actually have a subtle difference between them. So we can see like the semantical notion in these two is different compared to just having the same sentence for both in the simple past. So, to give a comparison, if you will remember the Pretérito Perfecto Simple, here we always talk about actions in the past which were completed, whereas in the Pretérito Imperfecto, it is actually unknown the time frame of the action, so we probably know for sure that the action has begun, but there is actually an uncertainty on when the action was finished. Whereas in the Pretérito Perfecto Simple, actually we know that the action has finished. So this is like the first big difference between both. In the Perfecto Simple, actions are finished. In the Imperfecto, actually there is this uncertainty on the time frame of the action, whether that has it finished. Maybe we are not really sure if it even started, but yeah, in the Perfecto, for sure it started and finished. So now, let's get back to our examples. In the Perfecto Simple, we can say yo estuve en la playa. In the Imperfecto, you can say yo estaba en la playa. So, when to use each. For instance, let's say that I want to know what you were doing on Monday. Like, digo, ¿qué hiciste el lunes? And then the answer would be, el lunes yo estuve en la playa. So, I was on the beach, and then it's an action that has already finished by the time that we were speaking. So, in this case, we are referring to what I did on Monday, but from the point of view of the present. So, I am in the present, I did this on the Monday, and the action has finished by now. Now, if I say, for instance, yo estaba en la playa, this could be like, oh, I see that you have hurt your hand. What happened to your hand? So, ¿qué te pasó en la mano? And then I say, oh, yes, yo estaba en la playa cuando un perro me atacó. So, I was on the beach when a dog attacked me. So, here we are actually providing this background information to what we are going to say. So, we are giving an answer, and this yo estaba en la playa is actually pointing to what was happening in the past. So again, here, this yo estuve en la playa is focusing in the present, and yo estaba en la playa is more focused on the past event. So this is another difference. For the Pretérito Perfecto Simple, it's more present oriented, but with the Imperfecto, we can say that we are more past oriented. To continue, let's remember now a little bit more on these tenses. So when we are talking about the present perfect simple, we are usually referring to sentences which are related to a time period. So these actions usually have some time period associated to them. For instance, I can say, ayer llegó el cartero, yesterday the mailman arrived. So ayer is our time period, and then arrive, llegó is our action. Or, now referring to the Pretérito Imperfecto, we use it to provide background information or to set the scene. For instance, era una tarde de verano, it was a summer afternoon, eran las 5 de la tarde, it was 5 o'clock. And now, okay, well, having these two ideas in mind, let's think how actually these two things could come together. Well, now let's see the following example. Eran las 5 de la tarde cuando llegó el cartero. As you can see, in these sentences we are mixing both tenses. So first, we say eran las 5 de la tarde. Now, we are talking about the pretérito imperfecto, where we are setting our scene. Eran, our verb, las 5 de la tarde. So we set our scene with the background information. Yes, it was 5 o'clock. When? What? When something happened. What happened? Well, here comes the action. Cuando llegó el cartero. Llegó the action. This in the pretérito perfecto simple. So here actually we can see that we have an example. In this example we are mixing both tenses and we are using the pretérito imperfecto in order to introduce the pretérito perfecto simple. So we use the pretérito imperfecto to provide background information to set our time period, so then we can use the pretérito perfecto simple to point to this time period. So it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the mailman arrived. Here again, llegó the action that we are talking, and then eran las 5 de la tarde. Eran is helping us to set up the time frame, which was 5 de la tarde. So here we can see now, yeah, even though one can use one or the other separated, also they can come together by using the imperfecto in order to provide background information which will define this time period, so then next we can introduce the use of the pretérito perfecto simple. So, summing up, we have both tenses, pretérito perfecto simple, imperfecto. In general, we can get to use the pretérito perfecto simple when we are in the present, talking about something that happened in the past, but the focus of our conversation, the focus of our answer is centered in the present, not in the past. So we give this past information, but mainly thinking on the current moment. Whereas when we use of the pretérito imperfecto, we are talking about something in the past, what our thoughts are focusing on this past action, in what was going on during this past. So we have this difference, and even then, although we have differences, actually we also now know that with these two guys can come together, where we use the imperfecto to set our time periods, to give this background information about the time period, and then we introduce the pretérito perfecto simple to talk about the action that we want to refer to. So, I hope that everything is clear, and if not, then questions are welcome, and then I hope you enjoy it.